Welcome to the Point to Performance podcast with me, Tom Blake. This week, I'm joined by my old school friend, Chris Hilton. Introduce yourself, pal.
Hi, mate. Thank you very much for having me on. So just a little bit about my coaching career. I've been a coach now for around 6 years, full-time for around 4 years. We kind of broke away at the same time from our 9 to 5s, didn't we? I've been a gym owner now for just over 2 years, but obviously we've lost a year of that due to the pandemic. And from a coach's perspective, I guess from the start, you kind of start off more of like what I would say is regular PT based stuff. So it's more about how people look all the time. And, you know, as you grow as a coach, I've kind of moved towards how people feel on a day-to-day basis, and the look kind of comes along with that. So my biggest thing at the minute, or my ethos with my coaching, is kind of the impact I can have on people's everyday life, and looking at health as a functional thing for everyday life, rather than just being about an attained look after a certain amount of weeks. And that way you kind of have bigger impact on more people. So I get a lot of parents, families and stuff like that. So you're having a bigger impact on those, which for me is what coaching is all about, giving them the education to live a healthier life forever, rather than it just being, again, to attain a look for a certain amount of weeks. So yeah, that's pretty much my ethos around coaching, and I know you're very similar, Tom. So
brilliant, mate. I mean, I think that's like it's a maturity thing, isn't it? Because initially you're like, I'm going to get this person strong, shredded, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then you realize that it's not about the result.
Yeah.
It's about the process.
Exactly, mate.
And if you can follow the process, because you can never guarantee results.
No.
No matter what you do, you may never back squat 200 kilograms. You may never do X.
Yeah.
But if you can live like someone who's going to get there, or follow a process, then yeah, that's really interesting about training families.
Yeah.
Training members of a family.
Yeah.
Because one of the things I look at with my clients is their relationships and their emotional health, because you can do everything right in the gym and even with your diet and your sleep, but if you don't have the relationship support from like your partner who's just constantly sabotaging you with like pizza and shit twice a week, they can really like make a big impact on your processes.
I think as well, it's nice to see, obviously with the kids and stuff like that as well. So I get a real buzz out of seeing like clients with now like teenage kids, and they're cooking together and things like that, and just getting out walking, being active together and doing stuff as a family. I think that's like really important as well.
Yeah, I think one thing that we've been missing is the education, like with people's health and responsibility for their own health, which we mentioned before we started. Like people taking their own personal responsibility, and you need to teach your children that it's important to be active and healthy. Sorry, mate.
Monkey see, monkey do.
Exactly. And if they see you just scranning every night, sat on the couch, then that's all they're going to do, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've known each other since we were babies, haven't we, really, mate? Since we were both very, very small. And I've seen you get your head stuck in railings and all sorts. But yeah, it was quite nice. So Chris mentioned earlier that we sort of broke away from our 9 to 5 stuff, and we used to talk about it a lot at the time when we were literally just going through it, and probably like egged each other on in a positive way to make those changes, didn't we?
100%, yeah. Like you said, it's that support system at the time of the kind of the environment you place yourself in. So we were both talking about like the 9 to 5 environment. And I always remember a funny story you told me was your last day in work, and everyone expected you to bring cakes and shit, and then you just like sent an email around the office saying, if anyone wants some long-lasting help towards a healthier like environment, like you got 0 replies from it. It's kind of like,
I mean, that was the push, mate. That was one of the things that did it, where I was like, I'm not staying here for one more second, because I think it was I chinned it off like a few days after my birthday, and that's what you do on your birthday. You bring loads of crap in. And I was like, I ain't doing that. 1, I'm skinned. 2, they're all fat as fuck and they need some real health and like help. And I was literally willing to give all my time away, like however long it was, because I knew that some people had already asked me about it. Like some people said like I'd asked for help. So I put it out there, no replies. And I was like, right, I do not need to be in this environment any longer.
Yeah, of course, mate. Of course.
Especially when you're texting people like you, and I'm seeing guys at the gym who are living my lifestyle and the way I want to be.
Yeah, yeah.
Like they build me up, they make me a better person, and I've got like 200 people in the office who are just like dragging you down.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, brilliant. So you've been enjoying your career, but obviously we've had a year off, a bit of a weird year. How have you found that with your clients who you've got, like have you retained throughout lockdown? Have you been working with them?
Yeah, so at first, kind of my head kind of, so to speak, went straight up my ass, and I was like, like I was just thinking, like, well, the government have promised this money, blah blah blah. So kind of for a couple of weeks, kind of fell away. I kept in contact with clients and stuff like that, and I offered any advice. All the advice and stuff was for free. But yeah, the first couple of weeks was really strange. I didn't feel like at the time it was going to be this permanent thing.
3 weeks to flatten the curve, mate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then kind of 3, 5, 6, 8 weeks went by, and I was kind of like, shit, I need to get my head together, because I was kind of tunneling into wasting my energy on reading shit on Facebook, Instagram and things like that. So
you got banned off Instagram at one point, didn't you?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, not sure what happened, but
my fault,
lost my page, so I've had to build that back up. But yeah, I kind of took away from it that I needed to invest in myself first. So I got in contact with a couple of people that were offering. So I did, from a health perspective, I learned how to read blood from a functional medicine kind of way. I went back to my old mentor and did a couple of mentoring sessions with him around basically gut health, digestion, things like that, stress.
Who's that, mate?
That was Coach Jht, he's called. And then towards the end of the lockdown, and I'm still with him now, I've got a couple of sessions left, I kind of wanted to work more on my business than in it. So I got a business mentor, and I've had him for the last, I think it's around 20-25 weeks now. So that was kind of the conversion that I needed. So I moved a lot of stuff online. So now I have an online platform where it's dead easy just to upload a new client or existing clients, and then everything's in that one space then, and it's just easy to upload different things each week. So that's kind of been what I've been working on at first, and then obviously the clients came into it as they came into that kind of system and structure. And yeah, they've been really happy with like what I've provided and stuff. So it's been a win-win overall.
Good stuff. It sounds like you've streamlined things there and just made it all easier to do information about all your clients scattered around.
Yeah.
Good stuff. I use a similar system with mine called a True Coach, and it's just that all their programs go on there, feedback goes on there. It's good to get that a system sort of like that in place, because Excel spreadsheets and Word documents can get a bit messy, can't they?
Definitely. Then you've got like hundreds of questionnaires you've got to file and look through and things like that. So yeah, it's all in one place now. It's a lot easier to manage.
Good stuff, mate. So you've uptaken a really big challenge with some of the guys, haven't you? Some of your mates, some of our old school mates.
Yeah.
It's the Jht Endurance Challenge. So can you tell us a bit about that, mate?
Yeah, so it's a week on Saturday. So Saturday, the 1st of May, I'll be flipping a 110 kilo tractor tyre for 24 hours. There's 9 lads doing a 31 mile ultra marathon, and then there's 9 other lads doing a 150 mile bike ride where they venture out. I think they end up going furthest out is around Wrexham that way, and then back in. So yeah,
is Scott Mills from our place is one of our members doing the bike ride, isn't he?
Yeah, that's led kind of by his brother Steve,
our old schoolmate Steve.
Yeah, and then so yeah, it's 3 really big challenges that we wanted to kind of push the boat out this year. It's something that we've done the past 3 to 4 years, where we've tried to kind of set ourselves a challenge each year and raise as much money and awareness as we can for the charity. So yeah, things are really building towards the event now, as it's only like a week away.
Good stuff, mate. Can you tell us about your charities you're donating to?
Yeah, so the Jamie Horrocks Trust is a local mental health charity. sadly, Jamie took his own life around 8 years ago now. And he was one of our close friends. So yeah, the charity was set up by his family and close relatives. And it's grown from strength to strength over these past few years. It started off as kind of a supporting charity for other big mental health charities, and now they do a lot of work independently within the community and sports clubs and things like that around mental health and children's mental health. So yeah, they're doing a fantastic job, and it's just a real pleasure to help support them.
Yeah, it's great to see, and like you lads have done an amazing job building that up. Brilliant stuff. So mate, how's it been training for this 24-hour challenge? Because it sounds hanging. Mate.
Yeah, so kind of the first initial part, I didn't want to get on the Tyre too quick because it kind of, even now it's becoming monotonous putting in the hours, just doing the same thing over and over. So kind of wintered the body, so to speak. So lots of posterior chain work, hamstring work, kind of the muscles and movements that I would be using, so to speak, whilst building up endurance as well, for obviously it's a 24-hour event. So programming at the start was based really around that, which I really enjoyed, to be honest. So a lot of strength work, a lot of strength-based circuit work.
Is it just to make just getting really strong? So the actual lift, one actual rep felt easy.
Yeah. So now yesterday I did 2 hours on the Tyre, and it was literally, it's without being too confident, it was a walk in the park. But
yeah, that's class, mate.
Yeah, so just coming in now nice and slow to the event, ready hopefully for one last big push on the day.
Yeah. Do you think this is the hardest one you'll have done?
Yes, definitely.
You did the wall climb, didn't you?
Yeah, I did the wall climb 3 years ago. So that was a 24-hour wall climb, which weird, so to speak. So I speak about this quite a lot. So at the time, I was kind of going through a lot of troubles personally at that time, and on the day, I think them troubles kind of pushed me through it. So it was kind of like people are in a worse situation than what I could be in. And I think that kind of me at the time personified what it's like to build a stronger mind and how you can use these things kind of to push you onto stronger things rather than, trying not let them get on top of you and things like that. So yeah, that was really good. I enjoyed that, and we put on a good day for the community. And then the following year, we did the Chester Marathon as a team, which for me at 105 kilo and 6'3" is not ideal running a marathon. But we got it done. It was the most horrific thing I've ever done, and I'll probably never run one again. But then obviously this year we wanted to set the bar even higher. So that's something we want to do as a group, is show that we are just a bunch of normal lads, but we want to show you and prove to people that how far everybody can push themselves, with a little bit of accountability.
Yeah, I think you've given yourself a goal, you've given yourself a really, really high target, and you're all pushing, even though you're doing different things, like you're flipping that on your own. The lads are on the bike, the other lads are running. I'm sure you're all talking to each other and encouraging each other. And you have that sort of strength in a community, don't you, where you just keep pushing through. Because I bet one day some of the lads will message and say, I can't be asked today, boys.
Yeah, of course. Well, kind of what I did, because obviously the Tyre flips on my own. One of my clients who's he just gives 100%, and I knew he'd thrive at the chance of helping me as well. So I've kind of said last 12 weeks, would you mind jumping on board? But I've not seen him for 2 weeks. I think I've broken him now, but he's been such a massive help, and just on the back of that as well, he's obviously helped me a lot. The results he's got as well from obviously the coaching around helping me out with the event is phenomenal as well. I think he's dropped around 58 pounds in a year. So
wow, mate, that's insane.
So yeah, he's done really well.
That's insane. What's that, 4 stone?
Yeah.
Jesus, mate. You had him doing a lot of Tyre flips then.
Yeah.
Brilliant stuff, mate. Yeah, and that's it. What you've done there is you've created a little environment, just you've both leveled up because of it. Yeah,
100%, mate. And that's like you said, from my my coaching ethos is strong mind, strong body, and boundless energy. That's what we want to create everyday life, not just when we feel like it or when motivation is high.
We've had this chat before, mate, that motivation is fleeting, isn't it? It's never there. It's never a constant.
Yeah, and people rely on it too much, and that's probably why we find the situation that we're in now. So
yeah, it's like when people start a sentence with "I feel," and you immediately know that they're like, that's not a disciplined sentence, is it? It's not, doesn't come from a place of discipline.
Definitely not.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just like, still got to flip the tire.
Yeah, 100%, mate. Like yesterday, there was no way I felt like turning up and flipping it for 2 hours, but it was headphones in, head down, get it done, and it's just another day ticked off. I felt miles better for doing it than I would have if I'd fucked it off and then just come home and sat on the couch.
Did you count how many reps you did in the 2 hours?
Yeah, so yesterday I did 612 reps.
Jesus
Christ. But that was, pretty quick. I won't be going at that pace on the day.
Yeah. I think the wall climb event is like a big thing, because with these 24-hour events, just being awake for 24 hours and there for 24 hours is one of the most demanding aspects of it.
Yeah, definitely. I think I remember on the wall climb, I think it was around 2:30 in the morning to like 5. I could literally just have lay down and fell asleep where I was. But then obviously you push through that, and then 5 o'clock, sun started to come up. And JP turned up and gave me a bit of a massage, and then I was all right then.
Class, mate. What time are you doing it from on next Saturday?
So it's going to be start at 8 a.m. and then I'll finish at 8 a.m. the next morning.
Yeah. Well, I hope it's not too hot in the day, mate.
Yeah, no.
It's been getting a bit warm, hasn't it?
It has, yeah.
Yeah. Where are you doing it?
So the initial plan is there's a little bit of a community day down at Earlham FC. So obviously now with some of the restrictions being removed, we've got a couple of inflatables there for the kids. They've got outdoor seating with the bar open. We've got a big raffle on that lots of local businesses have donated to. There'll be a smaller tyre next to me if anyone wants to come down and have a go at flipping a tyre, just to kind of get a feel of what the task is at hand and how hard it is actually going to be. So yeah, and then obviously the runners and the cyclists, they're going to start and finish at Earlham as well. My plan is around 8 o'clock in the evening is to move then to my gym and finish off with my gym. So I think the plan at the minute is for me to flip from Earlham FC to where my gym's situated. So that should be good. People seeing down the road, giving us plenty of beeps and stuff like that. So
that would be amazing. Yeah, that would be really cool, mate.
Yeah, and then we kind of finish off in the gym then at 8 a.m. in the morning. So
yeah, class, mate. That sounds really cool. Really, really cool. Yeah, what time are the lads starting with the run and the bike?
Cyclists are going out at 6 a.m. and they're probably predicting around a 10, 11 hour ride to finish theirs. And then the runners are going out at 9 a.m. and they're predicting around a 5 hour mark, I think. Maybe just a little bit more, 5.5 hours. Are
they all going to stick together on the run?
Yeah, they all want to finish together. So
got some good runners there, haven't you? Is Dan Prescott running?
Dan's running, Gaz is running.
Dan Prescott running all the time. When I go back to my mum's, in Caddy's, see him running all the time.
Well, we've got Alex as well. Alex is he did the Chester Marathon with us, and he was just over 3 hours, like 3 hours 10 minutes. He's
That's
really
legit, that mate.
Yeah, he's good. So yeah, it should be a really good day. And if anybody's listening who wants to come down and show the support, it'd be great to see you.
Yeah, we'll stick all the links on this, mate.
Yeah, definitely.
And get all the links to the donation page live.
Wicked.
And on Facebook now. Wicked. So getting back into the gym.
Yep.
Have you seen your clients eager to start training again?
Yes, 100%. So I have a pretty core base of clients who's been with me since the start now, and they've just been itching to get back. So yeah, it was really nice that Monday morning opening up that shutter and seeing them all waiting to come in. So yeah, that was fantastic.
Yeah, I think that says a lot. That there's no there's no hesitancy to get back in, or there's no like, oh, can't be asked, because
Definitely.
you've taught your guys how important it is to be healthy and strong.
Of course, yeah. Like I said, that the principle of my coaching is based around that everyday life, and you've got you're not always, like when we talked about motivation, like it's not always going to be there. You're not always going to want to do things, but if you can build that discipline around strong daily habits, you're going to win more battles than you lose. So
yeah, and we said this before, we've texted over this, like it's so important to be healthy. And the way you worded this, really like take some personal responsibility for your health.
Usually, and I think like obviously what's happened over the past year has shown a complete lack of personal responsibility from a lot of people, and highlighted how aligned we are with like a societal norm. So there's no getting away from the fact that we're an overweight nation. The majority of people hate the Monday to Friday 9 to 5 life, and they live for the weekend. Some people just even struggle to get out of bed to go and do that 9 to 5, but they don't kind of take action to change that. And as me as a coach, I want to make people feel the best they can feel 99% of the time. And I think addressing them issues and taking action on them is what people lack that responsibility of doing. They're happy to sit there and moan about them and make excuses, but they'll never take action.
Yeah, and it's difficult to get people to see, isn't it? Because when you do live for the weekend, you get the relief of the weekend.
Of course, and they're trying to get people to take ownership and see that what they're doing on a weekend is nothing more than a coping mechanism for the shit life Monday to Friday.
Yeah.
That's kind of a big breaking point for me in kind of the way I coach.
Yeah, well, we did this with our own lives though, so it's
yes.
In that point of view where we've got steady jobs, like pretty good jobs. So I remember we were both doing all right at the time.
Yeah.
But obviously dying inside because we hated what we were doing.
Yeah.
We knew what we wanted to do, which I think is really, really important and difficult thing to find. And so for us, it wasn't easy. We talk like it was sometimes. I do, but it was a tough decision because both got young children, and it's like a tough thing to do. But we just made it happen.
I think one of the big things for me was what was the worst thing that could happen was it failed, and I had to go back to that. But
we said that like, what's going to happen, mate? Like if it's 3 months down the line and you've got no clients and you're doing shit, go back to doing what you're doing before. I couldn't, because I didn't work a notice period. I just I was like, fuck it, this is it.
I always remember saying to my boss, we left on good terms, and all that. I didn't dislike working, it just wasn't what I wanted to do. And we left on good terms, and he said, if it doesn't work out, you can always come back. And I remember saying to him, you'll need me before I need you. And then it was only 18 months ago he came to me for a bit of personal training. So
brilliant.
Cool, yeah.
That's really nice, mate. That's a really nice moment.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. Staying positive, mate. Like, how do we get, like, we know pretty much everyone around our area. It's not a big place, is it? Cadizhead and Earlham. It's not a large place. We know all the faces. You go into Tesco, you know the faces.
Yeah.
How do we get this message out that they need to take some personal responsibility for their health? And I don't mean this in a negative way, like you're not healthy, so you're shit. I just mean like this needs to be a bit more important to people than it currently is, I feel.
Yeah, 100%. And I think, again, you hit the nail on the head at the start. There's a complete lack of education on what people are open to. So, on the grand basis of things, like people that are promoting this health, they've got a really small like a audience, kind of small audience.
Yeah, like an advertisement, like the marketing to not a big group of people, just your friends on Facebook or whatever.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And then I think as well, like, creating that impact, like I said at the start. So if you can impact one person, you can kind of impact some other members of their family, and then kind of word passes around. So the way I look at it is, you know, when I first started, I think I had something like 8 clients, and now I've got around 50 members in the gym, plus online clients and personal training clients as well. So, you know, the message is getting out there, but you know, it's a slow and steady process.
Yeah, and it's about being effective as well, isn't it? Like if you had 400 people knocking on your door, mate, it would be hard to serve them with like a quality experience, wouldn't it?
Yeah, of course. And like when we look at the fitness industry as a whole, there's still a lot of shit out there that gets a lot more traction than what the stuff that deserves to get the traction.
Mate, those Zumba classes are busy.
Yeah.
Earlham Leisure Centre.
Jumping up and down on the step.
I mean, it's better than nothing.
Yeah, of course.
It makes you more health conscious, and it's probably a fun experience, which is great. And like, you know, if you want to cycle, if you want to run, if you want to lift weights, if you want to do yoga, great. I really don't care what you do.
Yeah.
It's just that, you know, you should be doing something, or, you know, you should really think about doing something.
Of course, yeah. And sometimes I think as well, sometimes people may be a bit conscious of asking for advice and stuff, but I think like a really good coach will give you his time regardless. So I'm more than happy at any time to answer a question that people have, or if anyone has a little query about things, or what, just basically my point of view on things, I'll happily give that. I'll give it from a point of view where, you know, that's how I've developed as a coach. That's where I've got the information from. There is other ways to do it. I'm not saying like there's one way to do it. You know, there's thousands of ways to do it.
It's just what's right for the person.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's a completely independent thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
You will find someone. You will find someone that suits you. You know, I'm not saying that I suit certain people or everyone should come to me. You know, as an industry, we should be doing everything as a whole to bring everyone together and make a healthier community.
Scott, I've always think about it as like scope of practice and your skill set. So like, you know, if there's someone who I knew, like, for example, the members at the gym, I've probably sent 40, 50 people to John Prescott.
Yeah.
Who's an osteopath, physio, you know, decades of experience, he won't mind me saying. You know, he's worked with Great British Judo. He's fantastic. So, but he's the work that people need have asked me for, or whatever have asked me about. It's not within my scope of practice. It's not what my skill set is. So I've sent him to John, or, you know, one of the other trainers here who I feel would suit them better.
Yeah, 100%.
Because you're thinking about not just making money for yourself or helping people yourself. If somebody can do it better, it's always good just to, you know, pass them along.
Yeah, and I think like a good thing is as well, like, so you understand that because you've had coaches as well. So I think a big thing as being a personal trainer or a coach is you never need to stop learning ever. So we get the typical 6-week course, PT course, and then people just think, right, that's it then. You should
completed it.
Yeah, like literally, if you've been a coach for 2 years, go and get somebody as your coach who's been a coach for 6, 7, 8 years, or, you know, even longer, and been in the industry, and look at the work they're doing. Does it relate to you? What are your weak points rather than your strong points, and go and build them up, and then kind of build your own little platform and work out from there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you get to the point where you think I've learned all I need to know, then you need to like step back and have a bit of a word with yourself, because there's something else. Like there's something else. And even if like you feel like you've maxed some things out, like just go and add another string to your bow, go and make yourself vulnerable, or like, you know, I think if you're it's what that's cheesy, like saying if you're the smartest person in the room, get a new room. Like,
exactly,
that's the only way to grow, mate.
Definitely, 100%. And I think as well, you know, it is a fearful thing. I remember going to my first ever seminar years ago, and I was in the room, and I'm still like in contact with a few people in there now, and, you know, kind of from the same ethos again of stepping out your comfort zone and learning. watching how they've grown as well over the past 4 or 5 years since I first saw them is, it's credit to stepping out of that comfort zone and building your own knowledge over that time.
Yeah, I think like when you go to something like that, like my CrossFit level 2, I went to Madrid to do it. Fuck knows why, I just wanted to get away. Thought it'd be better than doing it in like Manchester or something. And you just got tore apart. So it was like you're in a group of 8 people, you've got to teach them a movement, and then there's the guy who's running the seminar or one of the people on the seminar staff, and you teach a movement and then you get ripped apart.
Mm-hmm.
You needed to do this better. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, right, well, you have to fail because it's just a great learning tool. To fail, take criticism, learn from it, and be better.
Yeah, I remember going to like a biomechanics course, and that was probably at the time one of the weakest things. It probably still is now one of my weakest things, but I remember sitting there and thinking, fuck me, I need to like really push myself on this to get to know this. But then like little things just click then after it. And then I went to another seminar in Manchester that was kind of interlinked to nutrition and biomechanics as well. And like things just started to click then. And then you kind of find yourself speaking up when you're at these seminars and answering questions or putting your case studies across and people helping you out. And then that's kind of where you start to grow. Whereas the first seminar, I literally probably just sat there silent for the 4 hours that I was there and was just like wrote a load of notes and was like, what the fuck does this mean?
Yeah, it just all sounds like a different language, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's brilliant. It's been good to see your growth as a coach, mate. Like, because you've always been so active with improving yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's inspiring, and it's always like a kick up my ass as well. To like, you need to be back on something now. Like, this year's been mental, and it's been so hard to get your head on the game with like getting back into education as a coach, because even though you feel like you might have free time, you just lost the sort of like the attention span for that sort of thing, because the world's so a bit stressful at the minute.
Yeah, of course.
To deal with. It's mad, but we're open now.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll be open for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
And we can both help people get to where they want to be.
Exactly, mate. And that's the main aim of the game.
100%. But yeah, mate, we're definitely going to have you on again. I'm definitely going to head over on the 1st, mate, and come and cheer you on for a bit with the family. But we will stick the donation links on here. So please, guys, anything you can spare. It's a fantastic charity run by a really, really lovely group of lads. I've known them all my life, the top lads. It's for a great cause. But, mate, thanks very much for coming on. It's been mint. We'll do it again.
Thank you for asking me on, mate. It's been a pleasure.
My pleasure, mate. And I'll definitely see you next week.
Definitely, mate. See you soon.
Thanks for listening, guys. See you soon.